So, we finally made it. The wait for Nod Krai is almost over, and with version 5.8 dropping tomorrow, everything is starting to line up. And that means it's time. Time to prepare. Because what's coming next could easily be the most stacked, the most power-creeped, and the most unpredictable stretch of banners we've had in Genshin in years. Between long-awaited debuts like Columbina, Varka, and Alice, game-changers like Anefa and Flynn's, and even a Double Witch Melt synergy down the line, there's a lot to plan for. So in this video, we're going through a realistic, leak-based banner roadmap for versions 5.8 all the way through 6.7. Obviously, this is all based on current leaks and community speculation, so things can shift. But right now, this is as close as we're gonna get to a full Nod Krai roadmap. Let's dive in. Version 5.8 kicks off tomorrow, and here's what we know officially. Phase 1 features Anefa and Seat Lolly, with Xingqiu, Fischl, and Cephos as the 4 stars. In Phase 2, we're getting Chaska and Molani. This sets the stage for what's coming next. Because starting with version 6.0, we're going straight into Nod Krai, and from there things escalate fast. So let's talk about 6.0. According to leaks, the first phase will debut Flynn's, a 5-star Electro Polearm user with heavy electro-charge synergy. His weapon stats strongly suggest that he'll work insanely well in Luna-charged reaction teams, especially with someone like Anefa. That's why people are recommending to pull Anefa now if you already plan to go for Flynn's later. Alongside him, we'll also get Ano, a 4-star Hydro Claymore character. Yes, the first Hydro Claymore in the game. This is already game-changing from a mechanical perspective. In the second half of 6.0, we're looking at the debut of Llama. She's a 5-star, Dendro Catalyst user with transformation abilities. You've probably seen her glowing deer form teased in the Nod Krai spotlight. Her kit revolves around Lunar Bloom and Scales with Elemental Mastery. She seems to be a supportive character who fits right into EM-based Dendro teams, but potentially also something new entirely. As for reruns, many believe Nahida will finally return in 6.0. She's currently the Archon with the longest break, over 250 days without a rerun, and it would make a lot of sense to bring her back just as the next big nation starts. Yelan is also rumored to rerun in the second phase, which would synergize well with Flynn's. Moving on to version 6.1, things are really heating up literally. Because Durin is finally set to make his debut. He's not just a lore relic from Mondstadt anymore. He's stepping onto the stage as a 5-star Pyro sword user with a very clear role, massive off-field support. But if you were expecting a vape-focused main DPS, think again. Durin isn't here to deal big numbers himself. He's here to enable others. Specifically, older characters who've fallen out of the meta. According to current leaks, Durin doesn't interact with the new lunar mechanics. Instead, he's meant to be a powerful, universally applicable pyro buffer, someone who can potentially take the spot that characters like Xiangling or Bennett have filled for years. And yes, he's expected to be meta-defining in Nod Krai for that exact reason, because he works in teams that don't rely on the new reactions. He's the type of unit who holds everything together when power creep pulls the game in new directions. If that wasn't enough, Zhongli is heavily rumored to rerun here too. Varisa is also leaked to rerun during 6.1. She hasn't been gone for too long, but her unique playstyle make her an appealing rerun candidate. And get this, Nivelette is rumored to rerun here too, which would make perfect sense, as he's supposed to receive a skin during the Lantern Rite event in 6.3. Oh, and don't forget Albedo. With his lore connection to Durin, we could totally see him return here instead. One more massive drop in 6.1 is the long-awaited Sumeru Chronicled Wish. This will likely include characters like Milo, Wanderer, Sino, and Alhaitham. Essentially every major Sumeru 5-star character that isn't an Archon. So yeah, 6.1 is not going to be easy on your wallet. In 6.2, we're finally meeting Nefer, a new 5-star Dendro Bao user and main DPS, also built around Lunar Bloom mechanics. Rerun-wise, Furina might finally return here. Escoffier could also rerun, and depending on how things play out, Hu Tao or even Arlecchino might come back in this patch as well. Everyone just kinda says something else, which is understandable honestly. Version 6.3 brings us Columbina, finally making her debut. According to leaks, she's a hydro polearm user with incredibly strong off-field hydro application. Her skill is supposedly called Song of Welkin Moon, which sounds elegant, eerie, and powerful. This patch might also feature a Skirk rerun, which makes sense considering the possible Escoffier rerun earlier and her popularity. Venti could also show up again. 6.4 is a little more mysterious. We don't have a name for the new character, but it's expected to be a female character, possibly named Linnea, based on leaks. Rerun candidates here include Inefa again, depending on how popular her debut ends up being, and potentially Raiden Shogun. There's also chatter about a Fontaine Chronicled wish potentially happening around version 6.4. Personally, I think the chances are a bit lower this time, especially considering how packed the rerun cycles are already looking. But after the almost back-to-back Liyue into Inazuma Chronicled wish, it's really not out of this world anymore. If it does happen, expect to see units like Linny, Riosley, Chlorinde, Navia, and others returning in quick succession, which could be both a blessing and a curse depending on your primo gem stash. In version 6.5, we're finally getting Varka. Yes, the long-teased, never-shown Varka, supposedly an Anemo main DPS focused entirely on pure Anemo damage. Mvuika might rerun here, as well as Xianyun. Interestingly, Durin is also rumored to rerun again here. Yes, that's 2 appearances within 5 versions. But based on how Xilanen reran just 4 versions after her debut in Natlan, it's plausible. 6.6 introduces Nicole Rian. She's a cryo support character with off-field application and is designed to pair specifically with Alice from 6.7. The leaks mention her being part of a double which melts synergy team, and apparently it works really well. Rerun-wise, Flynn's might return already, especially if he becomes a top-tier unit in Luna Charge teams. Kazuha and Ayaka are also rumored reruns for this patch. And finally, 6.7. The patch that brings it all full circle with the debut of Alice. Klee's mother, one of the most mysterious and powerful characters in all of Teyvat lore. She is a Pyro main DPS and synergizes with Nicole Rian as mentioned earlier. Columbina, acting as the Archon of Nod Krai, is expected to get her first rerun here, probably 3 to 4 patches after her debut in 6.3. And of course, thanks to the lore connection, Klee might also rerun in this version. It's hard to overstate how massive this roadmap is. We're not just looking at characters, we're looking at a full thematic shift in gameplay. M-scaling, dual element reactions, new types of supports, lunar mechanics, everything is getting shaken up. And with so many reruns happening back-to-back, planning your pulls has never been more important. Let me know in the comments, who are you pulling for? Is your priority Inefa, Llama, Nefer, or maybe you're waiting for Alice or Nicole? Personally, I'm saving for Columbina, but depending on how Nefer looks, I might change course. Either way, now is the time to start planning. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful or interesting, consider subscribing. We just hit 11,000 subs, which is absolutely insane, and now we're officially on the road to 15,000. I'll keep bringing you early banner guides, primo gem breakdowns, character leaks, and everything else you need to stay ahead of the meta. So if you don't want to miss a thing, you know what to do. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck in version 5.8 and beyond. May your pulls be gold, your pity low, and your favorite character always come home.